welcome to another edition of Soundless Vision Art and Life. My name is Adewale Agboke Jr. Please review us, rate us, give us a 5-star, don't be that hater. Today, coming to you from Jamaica, we have some special guests. They are part of the Karjakz Assassins universe. We've got Tayo Agboke, Babatunde Agboke, and Oluwaseun Agboke, aka Glocks, Rasputin, and Escalade. And today we're going to talk about some of the stuff in the Karjakz Assassins universe. So, y'all, how y'all doing?
Doing very well. How are you?
Doing fantastic. Thanks for having us.
Feeling relaxed from the beach.
Awesome. It's good to be in Jamaica. So, the first question is, I've asked this before, but now that we're all together, we can talk about it as like a group of this superhero universe. What's it like having a superhero based on you? Your individual characters that each one of y'all have based on y'all.
I can go first. I think it's one of those things where, as a kid, right, everybody grows up thinking, all right, what type of superpower would I have if I had one, and would it be cool to have a superpower, right? People always say, if you had a superpower, what type of superpower would it be? Now I'm in a situation where I already have a superhero based on me, so I'm living that fantasy that kids think about when they're growing up. So from that standpoint, it's really amazing experience.
Definitely piggybacking off of that. Yeah, you don't have to imagine anything. You can just look at Glocks and like see what's up. And also it's a little bit like, okay, I got to live up to this superhero now. Like I gotta ball to the next level just to meet Glocks' his diversified portfolio of like all the cool things that he's doing. So yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, I think also just like our brother knowing us, how does he use that information to create like superheroes about us, like based on our personalities is cool. Like what parts did he highlight based on his relationships with us?
Awesome answer. So y'all individually, that's my sister who's Escalade, of course. Tunde is Rasputin and Tayo is Glocks. So the next question is, even though we haven't the animated movie or movie of the Karjakz Assassins or individual character hasn't come out, but if there was one that was already out, what would be your favorite superhero Karjakz Assassin superhero movie or animated movie? It could be either one.
I think something that maybe like told the introduction story would be nice, just so that everyone could kind of get a background of like all characters, not just the ones associated with ourselves.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'll piggyback off that, right? Like, you always want to know the origin story of heroes, right? You want to know where they came from, why they became who they became. But I think also some type of story, whether it's an animated movie or a movie where it's showing all the characters in a position where they're compromised and they have to overcome certain obstacles, right? So as they're trying to overcome those obstacles, it kind of flashes back to the origin story of how they got to where they are and why they are where they are right now. But the main focus of the movie would be on them overcoming some type of obstacle.
I think it's gonna be really cool to see how together, basically your version of Endgame, and like you've got a universe here, many galaxies. Like Glocks could have his own galaxy, Escalade could have her own galaxy, Rasputin. Everyone could have their own galaxy. To see them all come together in one way, I think that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for your version of Avengers Endgame. I think that's going to be really cool. And the reason I say that's going to be really cool is just to touch on, piggyback off of what Tunde and Seun said. Like each one having their own individual story, but each one having a challenge and having them overcome it. Like you'll see it, like it just brings a certain uniqueness to each person. But then when you bring the whole team together, it's like, this is really cool. So each person having their own personality, each person having their own life story. So not just our characters, but all, like, literally you have galaxies in the characters that you have. And, like, it's literally limitless.
Yeah, the goal is to bring them all together, but also to each, as I stated, my goal is to have each character have their own book story. So which will eventually turn into their own animated movie, which will in turn turn into their own movie, because each character is strong on their own. So that's really important to me, because I don't want to jumble up everybody's storyline into one storyline, because you're still individuals that come together as a team. So that's important to me. So what do y'all think of the Karjakz Assassins culture in terms of representation? What is not there? Because a lot of the superhero culture only gears towards one thing, Eurocentric things. And one of the things that influenced me a lot was watching cartoons growing up. I do love Wolverine, I love Iron Man, but there's nothing like seeing a person that looks like yourself that can do all the things that you need from your perspective, from your community, and all that stuff. So, as far as the Karjakz Assassins culture, what do y'all think?
I think the culture is like fantastic because you can say something without saying anything. If they're like paging through the comic book, which it's going to be released soon, that says something without saying anything. You see the characters, you see what they look like, you see they're not just one thing. They're making jokes. They've got different backgrounds, different ethnicities. They're in themselves. They're not doing something for the benefit of someone else, to be there for the benefit of someone else. So yeah, you're saying something without like putting all the words on a page to say like, hey, this is how you can do it. You're literally just doing it.
Yeah, and I'll piggyback on that, and I'll say it's kind of, I look at 3 examples, right, and look at how they try to build a culture, right. You look at Thundercats, a cartoon that millions and millions and millions of people across the world watched, right. But the thing about Thundercats, when you look at it, right, Lionel is clearly a white dude. And then you've got Chitara, who's clearly a blonde white girl. Then when they get to Panthro, he's this gray dude. Who I suppose he's supposed to be a black guy, but I'm not sure. But it's clear that even they went out of their way to make a guy who's a lion white, when lions aren't white, right? And when they went to create a black character, they didn't make him black. They made him gray or whatever. So that's their whole situation. Not a fan of that, right? You fast forward to something like as you just mentioned, X-Men, right? They give you a black character in Storm, but they build in all these character flaws for her that they don't build in for other people in making her like this crazy black woman, right? And it's like, all right, great job there, thank you. Then you look into I don't say it's 2020 or 2021. Spider-Man, they do that Spider-Man into the Spideyverse situation, and the entire movie is based around this young, half Hispanic, half black character. And I thought the movie was really well done. I thought the character was really well developed. So for me, you see the development there from some of these longer established franchises and how they transition to where they finally are now. Whereas for you, you're starting out with a base of inclusion, right? You're starting out with a culture that includes a variety of different people. So it's not like, okay, well, you've got to become more inclusive, and it's going to take you 30 decades or whatever it is. You're starting there. So I think from that point, the culture is great.
Yeah, I think the idea of just having a variety of characters and not everyone looks the same, talks the same, kind of is the same is really important, because I think people are so different. So being able to have a multitude of people, I think just allows that like everyone can find themselves in someone, because there's just more opportunities to find a person who looks like you or feels like you, even if it's not just like physical appearance.
Yeah, and also too, it's important to me to have very powerful women, because as Tunde alluded to, they have Storm, but they make her this crazy black woman, whereas she's actually a 5th level mutant. She's the most powerful mutant in the whole X-Men universe, but they don't give her the power they're supposed to have. So for me, nowhere near that. No, not even close. I can't tell you how irritating that is for me as a cartoon dude. But one of the things that really was important to me, like Seun's character, who's Escalade, who's the team leader of the Karjakz, nobody's ever done that before. Because to me, logically from the beginning, I realized that she's an Air Force colonel. And why am I not going to make an Air Force colonel the leader of the team? So to me, that was just logical. And also, too, it was really important to have an African-American woman in a powerful position. So thank you for the answers, y'all. So as part of the Karjakz Assassins, on to our next question, y'all. As part of the Karjakz Assassins universe, what would you like to see from the animation, movies, and merchandise? Because I know it sounds the same, but it's a different question, like as in, like, where would you like to, what maybe particular things, because one of the reason why I ask this question is because whenever I go to the stores and I see merchandising for superheroes, especially for African Americans, it's always like they just can't help themselves to do something ignorant. So that's why I asked that question. Even in the animation movies, what would y'all like to see in that? In terms of in the Karjakz Assassin universe.
I'm already wearing the merchandise. So I wore it on the plane because I've worn it to work out. I've got the
and what were you wearing?
I was wearing the Glocks pants.
Okay.
So they're basically workout pants. They're really made of this really comfortable material. So I would just like to see more of that in like different things. So it's casual wear, but that could easily be put on a premium T-shirt. I've seen the premium tank top you showed me, and that bomber jacket is literally insane. It's better than anything I've seen in the store. So it's not that what I would like to see. It's like I've already seen it, and it's just a matter of time before it's like off the shelves, off the rack, and like people have to just get in line to like place an order. So yeah.
I think for me, the best thing that I'd like to see is things that can help normalize different types of superheroes for kids, right?
Yeah.
So being able to get in front of kids at a younger age where I'm this kid, I'm going to whatever toy store, and in the past when kids were going to the toy store to look for superheroes or Barbies or whatever it is they were looking for, right? If there was a different version of it other than the white version, it was always like a lesser version, right? It wasn't an actual like souped up version of whatever it is. So I think being able to provide merchandise for young kids so they can see themselves in the different reflections at an early age, so then they can grow up into adults who it's already been normalized for them because they saw it at a young age.
That's important to me. And Ms. Oluwaseun?
Yeah, I think the same thing, like just being able to start with kids at a young age and show them that there's things that are available that look like them, and it doesn't have to be a lesser version. And the idea that like everyone, you can look any type of way and have the ability to save the world, I guess.
That's a beautiful answer. Because
big picture.
And one of the reasons I love all of you guys' answers. And one of the reasons why I asked this question is because my brother, aka Glocks, he has three kids, and I want them to grow up on characters that look like them, so they can know they're beautiful, they're strong, they're intelligent, all those things. And also too, when they go to the store, the products will look greater than what's being Eurocentralized. Because to me, I don't compare my stuff or the Karjakz Assassin universe to the Avengers. I feel like my stuff is better. That's how I feel about it. So, thank y'all for.
I agree. I can tell you,
it's very as y'all know. I go to the shows all the time. You guys have been there with me. We're just kicking butt left and right. You know, the last 3 shows we did, Karjakz Assassin took #1 in sales, and not just by a little margin, but by a wide margin, like not even remotely close. So, the future is to go ahead.
One thing I don't know if you've already touched on it yet about the different universes where you have. So you've got our generation, but then you've got a next generation.
Yes,
so
yes.
Touch on that.
Good point. Yes. When I talk about my niece and my nephews, their generation of characters, because I base characters on them too, it's another generation of the Karjakz Assassin universe. That's going to be a whole different theme. I'm not going to completely give out the story, but let's just say they're very cool. Very, very, very cool. It's going to be normal. By the time we get to them, it's going to be normal to see superheroes that look like them. So that's what's going to be great about that. So on to our 5th question, y'all. What do you like? Why do you like the concept or theme of Karjakz Assassins?
I like the concept. I like the theme. Just because it's cool. There's no explanation. There are 1,000 reasons why something's successful. There are maybe 1 or 2 reasons why people understand why something fails. There are 1,000 reasons why Karjakz and Assassins is an awesome genre, an awesome universe. You can talk about the different stories. You can talk about the individuals themselves. Each individual person, you could start something off of each individual. You could talk about the tools, the tech, the machinery. It's like the stuff in Karjakz versus Assassins hasn't even been imagined yet. So there are 1,000 reasons.
For me, at the end of the day, when I'm not working, right, when I unplug, I'm looking for entertainment, right? When I'm looking at something like this, I'm looking for entertainment. So, yes, I think the cultural relevance is key. I think inclusiveness and all that stuff is key. But if it's not packaged in an entertaining way, then it's irrelevant, right? So, for me, the fact that it's entertaining is the key point, right? Because a lot of people are putting out products where they're trying to raise cultural awareness or raise awareness about different things, but it's not in a model that's entertaining, so it's not going to be appealing to people to engage with, right? So the entertainment factor of it, for me, is key.
And I am not a comic book enthusiast, as everyone knows. And so I think for me, just like going to the shows, it was an interesting experience, like watching people pick up the books or like buy the shirts and ask questions and just kind of see like what made people curious and interested in it. So I think as someone who doesn't really dive into that realm, it's cool to see that people are open to something like new and like have questions about it and want to know more about it. Yeah.
You know,
just like getting entertained and finding new things to be into.
My sister's character, according to my numbers in my chart, her character is actually the most selling character in the whole Karjakz Assassin universe, whether that's male or female character. So posters have sold the most and merchandise have sold the most. I don't know, women just really gravitate towards her. I think it's the whole Colonel thing, and she's like an Air Force pilot, and she's all these things that I put in her for her to do isn't common theme is what you see in superhero genre. So I love that part. So on to our last question, y'all. The first book is coming almost to an end. I'm about half a page from being done. What are you guys expecting from the Karjakz Assassin universe, the first book? Because it's gonna be a game changer.
I'm expecting, from everything I've seen so far, I'm just expecting like a good story. That's it. There's so many characters, so many things, but like you can get lost in that. But like when people see it, and when you see it, just a good story.
Yeah, I
That's
think
it.
it's. Sorry.
No, it's
yeah, something similarly to a movie, something that can really just set the scene, so that people kind of understand the different directions it can go next. So I think anything that gives more depth to kind of what you've already started will be cool for people.
Awesome answer.
Yeah, and I think something that is, from what I've seen, from what you've put out thus far in your drafts, I think what you're creating is almost a new framework for how comic books and animated characters are developed over the course of a comic book or a book, however you want to phrase it. So I think seeing how that new framework unfolds and seeing how it's adopted on a wider level outside of your universe is going to be interesting to see.
I love all y'all's answers, and mostly importantly, I want to thank you for being on the show. And also, I want to thank y'all for being inspirational individuals that allow me to create these awesome characters. Because I remember when I was first starting, I used to iron the shirts with my hand. That was interesting right there. I ain't got to do that no more. Then I moved up to a heat press. Yay, I came up. So, thank y'all for being here, and thank y'all for being awesome. So, once again, we got Tayo Agboke, a.k.a. Glocks, Babatunde Agboke, a.k.a. Rasputin, Oluwaseun Agboke, a.k.a. Escalade, the team leader, and I am Adewale Agboke Jr., the a.k.a. Cajun. So, Karjakz Assassin Universe is coming, y'all. It's going to be big time, and I'll thank our guests, y'all. Thank y'all for being here.
Bigger than Avengers.
You.
Bigger than Avengers.
Oh, yeah, most definitely got to kick Avengers, but...
All right.
Thank y'all for being here.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank
All right,
Thank you.
So I want to thank our guests. I want to thank y'all for listening. This podcast is produced, written, and directed by Adewale Agboke Jr. I want to thank our guests again, Tayo Agboke, Babatunde Agboke, Seun Agboke, and please check out our website at sciencefictionshop.com. This podcast is please subscribe to our podcast wherever you listen, whether that's Amazon, Deza, Amazon Music, Spotify, Apple, and you can also listen it on our website at sciencefictionshop.com. Our social media platforms are Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube, all at Science Division. Please review us, rate us, give us a 5-star, don't be that hater. And as always, continue to aspire and achieve. Have a great week, y'all. Stay safe. I'm still in Jamaica. Peace.